हाँ इसको टिल्ट आ रहा है इसको नाही नाही हां उभं आहे ना त्याला लँडस्केपमध्ये करायचं आहे पोर्ट्रेटमध्ये आहे सेटिंगमध्ये नाही नाही तिथून नाही यूट्यूबच्या सेटिंगमधून तिथून तिथं सेटिंग आहे असं केलं ना लॉक सेटिंग नाही दिसत आहे चालू आहे ना सगळ्यांना माहिती येत आहे अभिमन्यू सर एकदा कसं आहे पहा बरं चेक करा ना आता कसं आहे चेक करा
Good morning everyone. I request all the participants to please keep your mobile phone silent mode. I request everyone to kindly keep your mobile phones on silent mode.
काम झाल्यावर धक्का लागतो लेट जावे नाही समोर बैठो 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 नहीं इसका नेट तो खूप सारे डिवाइसेस होते हैं ये तो कहाँ जा रहा है देखना बड़ी तरफ नहीं मैं मोहित लिंक माईक पण सुरू आहे का?
सर त्यांचे सर्वांचे मोबाईल कनेक्टेड राहते ना, पासवर्ड पटकन चेंज करायला फरक पडलाय का?
अभी तक नहीं पड़ रहा है।
नाही, मध्ये थोडासा प्रॉब्लेम येतो.
नहीं वो बीच में रहता है, उसको रिफ्रेश कर।
सर्वर आता आमचाही मोबाईल आहे, सरांचाही आहे,
नहीं मैं मत कर।
नॉन टीचिंगचे काही
अभी कुछ कर दो, ये देखो चाहिए।
तो फिर ऑफ करने के लिए बोलते थे
मैं देखूंगा ना।
थोडंफार स्लो आहे कंटिन्यू.
हाँ लगा दो।
डिवाइसेस का हो रहा है सर इशू. अरे कल ध्यान में नहीं आया, कल ही अपन
खाली पासवर्ड चेंज करो।
को एकदम रिक्वायर्ड है, सिर्फ वही करना बोले तो लगेगा.
नहीं नहीं बेस्ट है, बेस्ट इधर।
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Good morning, everyone. The guests will be arriving soon. So the participants who are outside the Gandhi Hall, I request them to please occupy their seats inside the hall. Everyone, please be seated inside the hall. And I also request all the participants to please keep your mobile phones on silent mode.
हॅलो हॅलो.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guests have arrived. Please welcome them with a huge round of applause. I request the honorable dignitaries to kindly occupy their respective seats on the dais. Thank you everyone. You may please be seated.
At the outset, a very good morning to all the dignitaries on the dais, our distinguished guests, eminent speakers, respected faculty members, research scholars, students, and delegates who have joined us from across the country, offline as well as online. I, Vishal Sharma, and my colleague Mehzabeen Haq, on behalf of Bajaj College of Science, extend a very warm welcome to this August gathering of Innervate-2026, a national seminar on recent trends in nanotechnology and biodiversity conservation, organized by Bajaj College of Science, Wardha, supported by the Anusandhan National Research Foundation, ANRF, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, in association with Microbiologist Society, India, Association of Chemistry Teachers, and Career Katta.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have with us the esteemed dignitaries on the dais. Shri Sanjay Bhargav sir, Chairman Shiksha Mandal, as the President of today's inaugural function, Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav, Emeritus Professor of Eminence, Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, as the Chief Guest and Inaugurator. Guest of Honor, Professor Satish Patil, School of Life Sciences, Kaviyatri Bahina Bai Chaudhary, North Maharashtra University, Jargaon. Professor Arun Jadhav sir, Alexander von Humboldt Fellow and former Head of Department of Zoology, Rashtrasant Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. Dr. Mandar Datar, Scientist, Max Agharkar Research Institute, Pune. Professor P.V. Chekare, Principal and Convener of the National Seminar. Dr. Dheeraj Naik, Co-Convener of the Seminar, and Dr. Mamta Chandrakar, Organizing Secretary of the Seminar. We once again extend a heartfelt welcome to all our dignitaries on the dais and also off the dais, and thank each one of you for gracing Innervate 2026 with your esteemed presence.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Vastu of Bajaj College of Science is blessed with the profound inspiration and blessings of Pujaniya Janki Devi Mataji. With a rich legacy spanning 63 years, the institution has stood as a symbol of knowledge, values, and academic excellence. Over the decades, the college has witnessed a remarkable academic journey shaped by the vision of its founding members and the dedicated efforts of its present leadership to uphold the commitment to quality education and societal development. It's a matter of pride and privilege for us to quote that the induction meeting of the historic Quit India movement was addressed by Mahatma Gandhi ji from this very hall. In honor of his enduring legacy, this hall has been aptly named as the Gandhi Heritage Hall. Moreover, the Ministry of Culture, Government of India and UNESCO has recognized this hall as Gandhi Heritage Site.
The word innovate means to inspire and stimulate thought and action. Since its inception in 2008, this biannual academic conclave has evolved into a vibrant and intellectually enriching platform. Over the past few decades, Innervate has served as a forum for serious deliberations on contemporary and emerging issues of national and global relevance. Each edition of Innervate continues to ignite ideas and strengthen our collective commitment to excellence in higher education and research.
As we gather today, we seek your kind attention to the theme of the national seminar, Recent Trends in Nanotechnology and Biodiversity Conservation. Nanotechnology has emerged as a transformative field with immense potential to revolutionize science and offer innovative solutions. At a time when the world is facing unprecedented environmental challenges, the convergence of nanotechnology and biodiversity conservation provides new pathways for achieving sustainable development and ecological balance. Innervate-2026 provides a meaningful platform to discuss cutting-edge research, recent innovations, and emerging strategies in these fields.
We now proceed to welcome our honorable dignitaries on the dais, who in spite of their busy schedule consented to grace this occasion with their noble presence. Ladies and gentlemen, we are blessed to have with us Shri Sanjay Bhargav sir, Chairman of Shiksha Mandal, as President of today's program. Sir is a visionary leader whose life and work reflect a deep commitment to the society. His remarkable contributions toward empowering local farmers, transforming Zilla Parishad schools, and promoting science education stand as inspiring examples of his selfless service. A strong advocate of research and innovation, he constantly encourages the youth to contribute meaningfully to the nation's development. Sir, we are truly grateful for your presence and we extend a very warm welcome to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have with us a towering personality in the field of chemical sciences, an eminent academician, researcher and mentor, Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav sir, Emeritus Professor of Eminence, Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. It is our proud privilege to warmly welcome Professor G.D. Yadav with the symbolic offering of Mahatma Gandhi bust, which serves as a reminder to blend knowledge with values. I request Shri Sanjay Bhargav sir to welcome our chief guest, Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav with fruit mala and bust of Mahatma Gandhi. Professor Yadav's distinguished career spanning decades stands as a beacon of excellence, innovation, and dedication to education and research. His outstanding contributions have brought him national and international recognition. To acknowledge his contributions to science and education, the Government of India has bestowed Professor G.D. Yadav with the prestigious Padma Shri Award.
Next, I would like to request Professor P.V. Tekare to welcome Professor Satish Patil, School of Life Sciences, Kavyatri Bahina Bai Chaudhary, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon. Professor Satish Patil's research primarily lies in microbial diversity and extends to microbial mediated synthesis of nanomaterials. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Next, I request Dr. M.R. Chandrakar to welcome Professor Arun Jadhav, sir, former head, Department of Zoology, Rashtrasan Tukdoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. Sir is an Alexander von Humboldt Fellow and has worked on neurobiology and brain physiology.
Thank you, ma'am. I now invite Dr. Dheeraj Naik to welcome Dr. Mandar Datar, Scientist, Max Agharkar Research Institute, Pune. Dr. Mandar's research focuses on plant diversity, ecology and conservation, especially within southern Western Ghats.
Thank you, sir. Education is the most powerful tool for shaping the future. With great respect, I invite our head of the institution and convener of seminar, Professor P.V. Tekade, to address the gathering and throw light on the organization of the seminar.
Thank you. Good morning to all of you. President of the function, distinguished dignitaries on the dais, eminent resource persons, esteemed guests, honorable members of parent institutions, organizers, delegates, researchers, and my dear colleagues and students. It is with a great honor and deep sense of academic pride that I extend my warm welcome to you all on this occasion of Innervate-2026, the National Conference on Recent Trends in Nanotechnology and Biodiversity Conservation, organized by Shiksha Mandal's Bajaj College of Science, Wardha, in hybrid mode. Today's gathering stands as a celebration of knowledge, innovations, and responsibility. I heartily welcome all the scientists, academicians, and researchers and students who have joined us from different regions of nation. The theme of this seminar I think is relevant in the present global context, as the nanotechnology, a frontier science of 21st century, which is redefining the possibilities across healthcare, agriculture, energy, and environmental conservation. And when it is harmonized with the biodiversity, it offers hope-driven solutions. Hope-driven solutions, the solution that ensures progress without compromising the environment. Innervate-2026 serves as a platform for interdisciplinary dialogues between academicians, and it also gives us the platform for the collaborative research. The overwhelming response to this conference with more than 400 participants, as the conference is in hybrid mode, some participants are here in offline mode, and some have joined this conference in online mode. And it reflects the commitment of all the academician and researcher toward the sustainability-driven science. As we deliberate the future of science today, we sit in this hall that once shaped the future of Indian education. The first Indian Education Conference, which was held in 1937 under the chairmanship of Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi, was held here in this same hall. And from that historic deliberation, the emergence of Nai Talim, which is the timeless philosophy of the education, and that continues to live in Sevagram here near Wardha. Dear delegates and participants, our college represents a confluence of heritage and modern scientific advancement also. Alongside this historic legacy of this college, we are equipped with well-equipped laboratories and sophisticated instruments such as XRD, FTIR, CHNS element analyzer, gas chromatography, HPLC, and many more. We look forward for the meaningful and academic collaboration in future to the interested participants as well as the delegates of this conference. I place on record my gratitude to Sri Sanjay Ji Bhargav, the chairman of Shiksha Mandal, whose visionary leadership and unwavering support continuously inspire us for the quality of education. We are deeply honored by the Association of Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav for accepting our invitation. Thank you, sir, for being here. We are equally privileged to have with us eminent resource person, Professor Arunji Jadhav, Professor Satish Ji Patil, and Dr. Mandarji Datar. Their scholarly insights and rich experience will surely elevate the academic disclosure of this particular conference. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and for being here with us. I also gratefully acknowledge the collaboration and support of Career Katta, the Association of Chemistry Teachers and Microbiologists Society of India, along with the generous funding support from the Anusandhan National Research Foundation, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. I sincerely hereby appreciate the untiring efforts of organizing committee, whole team of Bajaj College of Science, faculty members, non-teaching staff, whose dedication and teamwork have made this academic event possible. I am confident that the deliberation, discussion and collaborations during this Innervate-2026 will ignite innovative ideas, inspire the young minds and contribute to the sustainable scientific temperament and advancement for the national building. Once again, I warmly welcome you all here and wish the conference very success. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived at the moment of pride and significance, that is the release of the souvenir of this national seminar. I request the chief guest, Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav, sir, to graciously inaugurate the seminar by releasing the souvenir. I also request all the dignitaries on the dais to kindly do the honors. I also request Professor G.D. Yadav, sir, to declare the inauguration of the national seminar.
Thank you. I declare the national seminar open. Thank you.
Now, it's time to call on dais a leader whose able and visionary guidance our institution has touched many milestones and continues to progress steadily with each passing day. A true Karma Yogi whose tireless dedication, selfless service and commitment to excellence have become a guiding light for all of us. His constant efforts to uphold and elevate the legacy of Shiksha Mandal institutions inspire every member of this academic family. With these words, I humbly invite our motivator, Shri Sanjay Bhargav sir, Chairman Shiksha Mandal, for his presidential address.
Namaskar and very good morning to all of you. We are privileged to have Professor Yadav with us. It's the first time that he has come to Wardha. I noticed that of the resource persons, 3 are persons whose students are with us in this institution. Professor Yadav's Nakhate, Professor Jadhav's Saikar Biswas, and Professor Patil's Mohite Madam. And Mandar Dattar has the unique distinction of being my wife's student. So we have, we're very glad that they are all here, especially Professor Yadav, who's an absolute national asset. And all of you are very privileged that he is here. And in his life, he embodies the power of education. He comes from a village in Kolhapur district and he studied in a ZP school with the similar situation 3 years ago, whatever years ago, as is now, that you have half the number of teachers to the classes, and yet through all of that, he, on the dint of his merit, his work, has occupied a very privileged place. The institution that he stands for is, I think, amongst the top 2 or 3 institutions in this country. I don't treat IITs as great institutions because they have too much money going into them. They don't have the culture of science or technology, and they're exporting our people. 2 institutions that I think in this country have done a lot for science are the Institute of Science in Bangalore and ICT in Bombay, which was built by Professor Sharma, but that legacy was taken forward very strongly by Professor Yadav. So if you want to, I look around at how the good institutions in the country and the world and what we should be doing. We are a district place moving forward, and ICT is one that is constantly inspired by what they have been doing and what they continue to do and will continue to do, I think. I am the least equipped to handle science in this room, but it's been my responsibility, and it's very clear that the progress of a nation is based on science and technology. And if we have not progressed, it is because we have not handled that issue in the manner which we should have. So here we are in the sphere that we have been focusing on this, whether in the college or the Bajaj Science Center or the work that we are doing with the Zilla Parishad schools across the district. And it's deeply neglected area, and therefore the only other thing I would like to add at this point of time is there's a curious, this is also when Tekade should be more honest. I'm sure when Professor Yadav heard of nanotechnology and biodiversity, he would have had second thoughts about where he was going and what these people are up to. But it's the unfortunate system in our country where we talk of multidisciplinary and that is supported, and something which might be a good idea will not be supported. But I think we should have done a better job of connecting the two, or having topics which reflect. So I will not intervene. The source persons are the people who can both give us knowledge and the approach to knowledge. More than that is what will stay with us, is that in their own careers, how they have done. I would also take this opportunity to pay homage to Professor Madhav Gadgil, who did so much work for biodiversity in this country. And Mandar Datar is the person who was associated with him for quite some time in that work. And I would only like through Mandar to convey our feelings to the family. If you have good role models, then one can progress. And today we have one outstanding role model in the form of Professor Yadav, and Madhav Gadgil was in the same league. So I thank all the faculty and students who've been involved in organizing this. And I do hope we will have Professor Yadav actually quite some time ago gave an online lecture for our Bajaj Science Center. So I hope we will have the privilege of having him here again, so that he can spend a little more time with Vardha and our institutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your evolving world driven by science and sustainability, forums like Innovate serve as catalysts for informed dialogue and responsible innovation. With this thought, we proceed towards the keynote address of the chief guest, Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav. I invite Dr. Akhil Nakhate to introduce Yadav sir and invite him for the keynote address.
Thank you, madam, and respected member of the organizing committee for giving me the honor to introduce my guru, the chief guest and keynote speaker Innervate-2026. It is a moment of great pride and privilege for me present Professor G.D. Yadav sir, one of the India's most respected and distinguished engineer scientists. He is Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Fellow, CSI Highest Honor, former JCPS Fellow, former National Science Chair of India, and currently the Emeritus Professor Immense at the Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, where he also served as a Vice Chancellor. He presently holds several national leadership roles, including President of Indian Chemical Society, President of the Maharashtra Academy of Science, Chair of multiple DST Committee, and Vice President-elect of the Indian National Science Academy, INSA. He has also served internationally as an adjunct professor at leading universities in Canada, Australia, and India. Professor Yadav currently serves as a communication director of the Federation of Asian Chemical Society, representing 31 countries, and as a finance committee member of Commencement Chemistry. With a strong industry academia linkage, he advises DST, CSIR, AICT, NITI Aayog, and National Hydrogen Mission, and serves as an independent director on board of leading industries including Godrej, Clean Science and Technology, Make Money Organics, Bagaria Industry, Aztec Life Science, Supriya Life Science, and Shapoorji. His outstanding contribution in green chemistry, catalysis, energy, and sustainability have earned him more than 150 national international awards, including Padma Shri in 2016, Eminent Engineering Award 2024, Rasayan Maharatna, and Paryavaran Bhushan. His innovative technologies have attracted strong industry interest with several processes reaching pilot scale and near commercialization. Most recently, in September 2025, he received the ICC KV Mariwala Award for the DME technology, dimethyl ether technology to Godavari Refinery. His remarkable research output, including 570 publications, 137 patents, 3 books, and more than 21,000 citations. I joined ICT in March 2010 and personally witnessed how he transformed the institute during his tenure Vice Chancellor 2009 to 2019. Under his visionary leadership, ICT emerged as a world-class institution through the establishment of 2 new campuses, ICT Jalna and ICT Bhubaneswar, the launches of 23 academic programs, the creation of 5 new departments, the establishment of multiple centers of excellence, and mobilization of over 1800 crore in research and development funding. He has guided 170 PhD scholars. I am proud to be an 158 master student along with numerous postdoctoral fellow and research scholars. His guidance, encouragement, and freedom to explore ideas have profoundly shaped my academic journey. Beyond his scientific excellence, Professor Yadav sir is also poet, Sanskrit scholar, and philosopher. He even composed the University Song of ICT, reflecting his deep cultural and intellectual depth. His inspiring life journey from village school to global scientific leadership continues to motivate generation of students and researchers. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming Professor G.D. Yadav sir, visionary scientist and inspiring mentor and true role model. May I now invite sir to take the stage and deliver the keynote.
मॅडमला तिकडे समोरचे कॅमेरा सरांवरती फोकस करून
Hello.
प्रज्वल थोड्या चेअर सर करून
Namaskar. I think, can you reduce the volume a bit? Hello. Yeah. Namaskar. The chairman of this Shiksha Mandal, Shri Sanjay Bhagat. Yeah. Dr. Data, Dr. Tekade, other distinguished members here, including Dr. Satish Patil from is wrong with them. Yeah.
Kavaitri
Okay,
Bahinabai
thank you.
Chaudhary, North Maharashtra University,
Other distinguished
KBCN.
invitees, fellow teachers, students, members of media evening, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Hello? Yeah. There is a Murphy's law. It says if things go wrong, they go wrong at the most inappropriate time. Anyway, so Sanjay ji commented on the title of this seminar. No, I will cover both, okay? So don't worry about it. Because sometimes, in our system, you have to use the right title to get money. So there was a nano mission. So everybody put the word nano in their title. So at least they will be shortlisted for getting money. I don't know whether ANRF told you that you should have this title. No? Alright. Good to know that they are interested in biodiversity and all. So I will also cover that aspect, what is meant by this. But my job is, as a teacher, is to entertain the students in the audience. And unless, I say time and again, a teacher is an actor. Only difference between an actor and a teacher is that he has to say his own dialogues. Actors say somebody else's dialogues. Right? And the dialogue is such that they enthuse the students. And my personal belief is also, I will test your patience. In today's world of AI and ML-driven world, the attention span of students is not more than 7 minutes. Perhaps it is less than that. The moment something happens, students pick up their mobile phone and start sending messages to the people sitting in the front or at the back, and they have fun. And if the teacher turns around, they have more fun. Right? You might have experienced it. So how do you keep students engaged in the classroom is through this so-called hybrid mode where you go, put some slide on the screen and discuss it. But let students participate in that. Today you no longer can use the old notes and be happy for 25, 30 years. Right? I'm sure you must have experienced it. So now my topic is what? Net negative energy system. Now the entire world is talking about net zero. And here I am talking about net negative. And so why am I talking about that? And I will let you know. And sustainability is another word which is being used mercilessly by media particularly. And you hear this word all again and again. Politicians use it very interestingly. But they are interested in sustainable career. Right? And green hydrogen. What is green hydrogen? I'm going to say a little bit decarbonization, biomass valorization, maybe Gandhi's ideas. We can think on biomass valorization and waste plastic recycling because everybody is against plastic. So I'm going to tell you something interesting. So look at this, climate change. Pune, Mumbai, Assam, drought and Assam flood. These are real pictures. Now if you want to live in Mumbai or Pune, better no swimming. Because see what is happening. The gutters are clogged, you cannot walk through, better no swimming. Even other one. Okay. And this is Vidarbha. So you have drought on one hand, torrential rains on the other, and unseasonal rains. And so the farmers many times demand, particularly the leaders demand, declare wet drought. Right? You might have heard this word, wet drought. What is wet drought? And you can see historically, this is predicted that you will have horrible summers in the future, unseasonal rains and all that. And if any place, whether it be that Vidarbha or Kanyakumari or Kashmir or Northeast, if the average temperature of that place rises by 3 degrees plus, supposing average temperature is 25 here, and it becomes 28 in future, 80% of the biological species will die. That is a horrible feature which we are going to see. This is, look, Kerala. This is a picture from Kerala. I was there very recently and I showed this. People don't believe that Kerala has this problem. Okay, worst drought in 40 years. And then there were floods also. Okay, in Kerala. And not only India, but look at Europe. The Europe's pattern is also changing. The weather pattern is changing. These are advanced nations. Whether America, Canada, Australia, name any country, weather patterns have changed. Okay, and see, this is one picture from Canada. Every year in Canada and particularly in the United States, California, wildfires, and they go for days together. They burn a lot of this jungle wood. Why? If they are so advanced nation, why are they not able to control this? This is because of climate change, right? And so, see this. There is one place in California called Death Valley. The name is Death Valley. Average temperature is more than 50 degrees Celsius throughout the year. And very interestingly, they have a national park there. They have a national park there. Temperature. This is Death Valley. And look at Delhi fire and air pollution. Burning crop residue is a major crop and politicians blame each other. The party in the power says they will solve the problem. The party which is out of the power, they could not solve it, though they say, we did not solve, you are also not solving. That's the problem. Burning crop residue is a major cause of toxic smog, creating dangerous air pollution each winter. It is difficult. I've been traveling very extensively and I have to go to Delhi next week. I'm afraid whether I should go previous day or the same day. It's very difficult. And then severe haze, lung disease, and they are burning wells at an alarming rate. I'll tell you how. 100 million tons of agri-waste is burned by farmers in India. 500 million tons is produced. It comes from all, whether it is rice husk or soya bean or name it. And 100 million, and this is very, very important, but they don't know that this is a wealth which they are burning. So how can we convert that into real wealth? That I'm going to tell you. And not only that, look at this picture. this data, last year, January 18, today is 20, and January 18 this year, the concentration of carbon dioxide is 428 ppm. And just before pandemic, the COVID, it was 410 ppm. And we were sitting at home, glued to television sets, watching old Mahabharata and Ramayana serials. We were not, believe me, practically for 2 years I did not leave my home, for 2 years. But I was doing all activities online. Everything is online. I think during one of those days I also had an online thing with Akhil had requested me and I did it. So then within a year, we added 2 ppm. That means somewhere we were burning carbon. That year, the world's crude oil capacity was 97.4 million barrels a day. Okay. So that became 85 million barrels a day during that year. And there was a funny incident. On 10th April 2020, the crude oil price became negative. They had to pay $10 per barrel to store it somewhere because they were producing so much. So what happened? It is always economic impact. So there were 7 companies, fracking companies, that the hydrocarbon extracting company in the United States from Texas. They withdrew their investment, which was almost $7 billion. And what did the pundits say? The pundits said that hydrocarbon industry is dead. We cannot have crude oil anymore. That is not going to be economical. So they withdrew that investment. Then lo and behold, by 22 May, the concentration of carbon dioxide increased to 418 ppm, meaning thereby the economic activity was restored. So carbon emissions in the atmosphere is a barometer of economic activity, which we may not like, and we are worried about climate change, but that is a fact. And see, today it is 428. Now if you look at that chart there very carefully, if we do not have technological intervention of curbing carbon dioxide emissions, which is also theme of your seminar, by 2050 the concentration may rise to 2000 ppm. And that means 6 degrees to 8 degrees rise in temperature. Nothing will survive. All biological species will die. That means we have to act yesterday, not even tomorrow. Why technology is important? Because that is only technology can save us from this world, disaster. So this is a fact. And today, world refinery capacity is almost 103.5 million barrels a day. 825 refineries are there. Add to this, last year, March 7, it had gone to 430.26 carbon dioxide. When we started the so-called industrial revolution, that time it was 280 ppm. Imagine how much carbon dioxide we have added to the atmosphere. And so these are the numbers. I won't read everything in the slide, but it shows the fossil carbon burning, be that gas, coal or crude oil, that has gone through 37.4 billion tons, gigatons, billion tons, plus additional from land use, that is 41.6 gigatons. So much of carbon dioxide we are adding into the atmosphere. So what it means, global CO2 emissions, this is 2025 estimated, that China is 12.2 gigatons, US 5, almost 30%, India is 7%, 2.8 gigatons, and Japan 1.1. And remember, the net zero commitments worldwide, 140 plus countries plus European Union, covering about 92% of global emissions. 114 countries have adopted net zero targets. 30 countries plus EU are legally binding. So China says 2060, India says 2070, net zero. Right? And there are almost, 28% countries in the world which do not have any goal. Either they are poor, or they don't have technology, or they are less populated. These are the reasons for that. Okay. So this is so what is the problem? Ours is a carbon-based economy. So common sense tells us that carbon-based economy, carbon-based energy system. That means, I'm telling you, carbon should not be used as a fuel. That is the solution. Carbon should not be used. So you are using petrol, diesel, gas, whatnot, coal. No, that is not going to save us from the disaster which is likely to happen. So we wrote this paper during that particular time. So we have non-renewable or fossil carbon, oil and natural gas, coal, everybody understands that. And on the other hand, is renewable carbon, that is biomass based. So biomass, whether purposely grown, okay, or renewable, or waste biomass, agricultural waste, food waste, whatever, that is going to be our future source of materials and chemicals, but should not be used for burning, should not be used for burning. I'll tell you another number. Mumbai municipality, Mumbai state corporation rather, their daily municipal solid waste is 9,000 tons a day. You want to know the distribution? 50% is food waste. That means we are wasting too much of food. 10 to 12% is plastic. Then we have construction and debris, and then we have metals and whatnot. And literally, what we are doing is making zero waste society. Can we make zero waste society? For example, you have a beautiful campus, very latest you have. Can you make it literally zero waste? Nothing should be lying anywhere. No waste. Why it is waste? Because we think waste has no value. We have to say waste has value. And I'll tell you the example of that. Right? You newspaper, right? You get newspaper, and there are supplements. Maybe Varda supplement or some other supplement is there. It is all full of garbage actually. We don't know what it is. Some picture, somebody's picture, paid picture, right? So, but you don't throw it, you keep it. And you don't throw the rubbish. The waste paper is never thrown by a housewife. She will collect it, nicely bind it. Sometimes she will sprinkle water on that to increase the weight. So when the Randi comes, I'm not joking. You are laughing, that means it is serious. Ask your wife whether she puts water on that. So you increase the weight. Why do we do that? Because the weight, the mass has value. Because that waste has a value. Right? And now another example. So you have milk, right? It comes in pouches, polythene pouches. The housewife will put water in that and shake it 100 times. If she is not energetic, we'll ask the husband, just shake a little more. Why does she do that? Because she knows that drop of milk has a value. But what does she do? She will throw the plastic bag outside. Because it has no value. Right? Because she thinks it has no value. So throw it. Supposing instead of that, this I have told the government also, instead of that, suppose we use a barcode on that, argument say, and say, this plastic bag is 20 rupees. Irrespective of shape, size, thickness, whatever, 20 rupees. What will you do? You will collect it. You will not throw it. Of course, you will give a clean bag. And another boy comes to your home, says, Madam, give me the plastic thali. I want it. He takes that and he returns your 20 rupees. Maybe he takes commission, 5%, because you are lazy. If you go and return, you will get 20 rupees. You will not create any plastic pollution. Why plastic pollution is there? Because we are throwing it. Because we think waste has no value. And another best example I will tell you, all of you will laugh at it, but it's a fact. Go to any marriage party, birthday party. The chefs make such a nice decorative food. All sorts of Punjabi food, South Indian food, Malaysian food, Thai food, Mexican food, right? It looks attractive. Then what do? You go and take a bigger plate because you think this is really, we must have the treat of the day, right? You take bigger plate and you don't like it because the taste is not your palate, so you throw it. Okay? Instead, I'm suggesting this, do it, okay? I'm giving a home exercise. Instead, suppose there was a notice, a small note written in front of the dish and said, Madam and Sir, touch this dish if you like it, but put 100 rupees in this bowl, right? I can assure you, you will not allow your husband to touch it because he has never eaten at home. Because it is free, you are taking it, right? If there was a cost, so you will not allow him to eat. And you will save food. And also at the end of the function, you collect that money and give to the bride and groom, like marriage gift. I might be telling you jokingly, but this is a fact. Why there is so much of waste? Because we think waste is zero. Kachra has no value. That is what we think. No, waste has value. So in the future, Bhangarwala will have better days. Why? Because they will collect. By 2047, we want to be Vikasit Bharat, right? We will not have any virgin material. We will not have minerals. We will not have metals. We will not have anything. We will not have crude oil. We will not have anything. So what are you going to do? That means we have to reuse, recycle. So that is what is going to happen in future. So this is what I am trying to tell you, that the problem with this is why there is so much of greenhouse gas is because it's carbon-based fuels. Carbon-based fuels is because of that we have this greenhouse gas and temperature rise. So climate change is real. No matter howsoever powerful the person is in the world and says carbon is hoax, carbon real. Our planet is warming due to human activity. Rising temperatures, more extreme weather, melting ice, rising sea, ecosystem in danger. It is time for us to take action for a sustainable future. Okay? So this is where I am bringing some 10 points. Okay? My lecture is based on these points. But I am not going to show you any chemistry or anything because my job is to entice you, to encourage you to think of the planet and sustainability. So what are these 10 points? Number 1 is hydrogen technology. And I'll tell you hydrogen a little later, how hydrogen is going to help us. Then carbon dioxide will be our new oil. Okay? Next is decarbonization of economy. Everybody talks. Biomass valorization, including waste. Solid waste management, I talked about MSW. Waste plastic recycling. Water resource management. Circular economy and recycle engineering. Biotechnology and systems engineering. Okay? These are the 10 approaches by which we can save our planet. So normally when you open a TV, some sadhu or bhuwa is giving bhashan. Beta, acha vichar. He says, think positive. And here another sadhu who is saying, think negative. Am I joking? Thanks. Of course I am joking. What I am talking about is, think of negative. And what is that negative? Carbon negative energy systems and material neutrality. This is our future. Carbon should not be used as a source of energy. That is my personal belief. I have given several lectures and talked in different forums. Yes. So what do? So net energy systems and sustainability, which was part of my title of the talk, is this. Okay? Now, look at this. So, green chemistry and engineering, because Akhil mentioned that I work in this area, I won't go into the details of this, but yes, green chemistry and engineering is another approach, whether safer, cleaner, atom efficient, sustainable, energy efficient, material efficient, environment friendly, economical, that is green chemistry and engineering. Okay. Now look at this slide. In 2020, when there was a pandemic, we emitted 35 gigatons of carbon dioxide, 35 gigatons. And we are talking about net zero. The Paris Agreement or Accord, remember 2015, 195 nations participated in that. And they said, oh, our temperature of the globe should not rise by beyond 2 degrees by 2100. Then they said, no, 1.5 degrees. You want to know the fact? In 2027, we will have achieved that. That means we have damaged the environment so much, okay, because of our greed. So this 35 gigaton in 2020, unless we take out the so-called 25 gigatons, now it has become 41.6, to less than 10 gigatons, 1.5 degrees Celsius temperature rise is not possible. Okay, so these numbers I gave you some time back, these numbers. So yes, 10 gigatons. What is the meaning of that? That means we have to take out carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. You must develop technology. Why this carbon dioxide there in the atmosphere? Because we are allowing it to go. So that means at the source itself, which is a part of green chemistry, we take out carbon dioxide. Carbon sequestration, CCUS is the technological name, carbon capture, utilization and storage. We have to adopt this thing, okay? So, what is the meaning of this? So we must see that net zero, we have to take out carbon out of our fuel mix. That is what it is. Yeah. So, because I'm an engineer, I'm talking about recycle engineering, physical, chemical, and biological processes. Everything. So when you do any process in the laboratory or somewhere else, there is some waste which is created. Whether it is a physical or chemical or biological, waste is created. That means it is not 100% atom economical. Okay? So can we have material recycling and zero waste society? And I will do good example because we are talking a lot these days about solar energy. Our government wants 1 crore households to have solar panels. Right? It's a very good idea. That means that down the line, even the commonest of common person can contribute to national grid. The only problem I tell you that. Only problem. Yes, when everybody produces electricity, it has to be stored or it has to put it in the grid. Our grid capacity is not there, so government should spend on grid. They will say only during this time only you put the electricity and you will give credit, which is not happening. I went to Kolhapur, and the industrialists met me. They said, sir, can you help us? They said they are producing so much of energy, renewable solar energy, but they are not allowed to put it in the grid because the grid capacity is not there. So government's first priority, whether it is state or center, is to create grid capacity. Right? So this is what we have solar panels. In the year 2000, we started this solar energy mission. So, and also wind. They have a life of 25 years. That means after 25 years, they are useless. They cannot be used enough. So that creates waste. So almost 60 million tons of waste is lying somewhere. Can you afford it? No. We have to recover material from that because it has everything there. For example, in the so-called wind turbines, the length could be 240 meters long. The magnet could be 350 kilo, and they are praseodymium, neodymium, and things like that, and we don't have them, and we are dependent on China and the African countries. So don't you think we should have a mission to collect this? So that is so tremendous scope for chemical industry. So wind turbine, plastic, batteries. Batteries, for example, I tell you. Battery, when the EV, we talk about EV, right? Everybody talks, we are fond of EV, electric vehicle. That is when there are almost 40 plus drugs in pharma industry which have been reused. That means they have been used for some other purpose. Of course, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 trials have already taken place. The efficacy is known for some products. For example, aspirin. Okay. Now, this is a blood thinner, but it was used only originally for headache. So that is repurposed. So many drugs are there which have been repurposed. So can plastic be used, repurposed? So maybe somebody will say, oh, okay, we'll put it in the road making. Yeah, that is repurposed. Or in Ladakh somebody built a house of plastic bottles. Okay, alright. So that is repurposed. Next is reduce. If you reduce consumption or if you reduce use, so for example, suppose you have a solid rod, but then you have wasted so much of particle. Instead, suppose you make a flat sheet and you bend it, you did not waste anything. Right? That is idea. So reduce, reuse, and last but not the least is recycle engineering. Okay? So recycle engineering means incentive. Government policy must incentivize. Right? So, like for example, I say 20 rupees deposit irrespective of shape, size, weight, thickness, even the straw, then you will keep it, right, and return it and get your money back. That is incentivizing. But if there is no value, you will not use it, right? You will throw it because you say it is useless. It is just unnecessarily occupying my home. So, recycle engineering, circular economy, waste management, all these things are part of government policy. So my personal belief, because I sit on some policy making committees, my personal belief is policy makes the nation. You must have the best policy in the interest of every common person. And it should be easily implemented. So for example, government policy, if the thickness of the bag is 50 micron plus, you are allowed. Now, do you go with a metering gauge to measure thickness and suppose it is 49.5 argument? So you will be fine. So you are allowing the authorities to act illegally. And the best example is liquor ban. There are 2 states where liquor ban is there. Maximum liquor is sold in those states. Why? Because people think, and who is supplying? The police is only supplying them. Authorities. So like recently I wrote in 10 kilo of plastic was found. Every day you go here, you will find plastic everywhere. Right? In the market you will find. There is official plastic ban. So once, Maharashtra government secretary called me. He said, sir, we want to consult you. I went with great enthusiasm. I said, Maharashtra government wants to consult me. So you know what he said? We have decided to ban plastic from 2nd October, Mahatma Gandhi's birthday. I said, if you have decided to ban, why the hell you call me? You want my opinion? My opinion is do not ban it. Do not ban it. Have incentive. Like I told you that plastic. Incentivize. Banning is never going to solve any problem. If one technology creates problem, another must be used to solve it. That is history of technology. How plastic was introduced? Because we were due during the forest. A lot of paper was taken. So we felt this is going to affect the environment. So plastic was introduced. So plastic was a savior. And the technology became smart. Day by day it became thinner, 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 and tougher, tougher, tougher. So practically the plastic bag which the vendor gives you costs nothing. So he's giving, he says, madam, you take more bag because you think it is going to turn, right? You had the experience? Yeah. So what is the meaning of that? Meaning is that it is free. So what do you do? Nothing free is appreciated. Even free advice. Correct? If you charge them, people think, he's a very good doctor. He may touch and say, you have fever. But he charges you 1,000 rupees. you feel the doctor is very good. But if he doesn't charge you, you think, oh, useless doctor. Our philosophy, our psyche has to be changed. Right? So this is incentivize. That is what I am telling you. Incentivize government policy and practical incentive. It has to be practical, which can be adopted by everybody. Okay? And so my approach is this is because I'm an engineer, I showed you this diagram, but I will tell you what it is. It means nothing is best. Now those who are chemists, you have byproduct and co-product, right? Co-product means it is a product which will come with a reaction. You cannot change it unless you change the reaction path. And byproduct means another reaction. So byproduct can be reduced, minimized by using catalysis or process conditions, reactors and whatnot. But co-product cannot. Pro-product will always be there. If you want to have like esterification reaction, alcohol plus acid, use ester plus water, water will be always there. Unless you change it and use some olefin, then there is no water, right? That is a simple concept. So we have to do that. This is what my idea is this. Carbon dioxide, waste biomass, plastic, municipal solid waste, these are not waste, they are our resources. And we have to attach value to that. So, so this is biomass for chemicals, everywhere we can do that. Now, since I talked about hydrogen, so there are 8 different colors of hydrogen. Hydrogen is colorless, but the technology by which we produce hydrogen is colored. So, we have brown hydrogen, gray hydrogen, blue hydrogen, turquoise hydrogen, green hydrogen, pink hydrogen, white hydrogen, so many hydrogens, right? So wherever green energy is used, the green energy means where no carbon is used, that source is green energy. So maybe solar energy, wind energy, geothermal energy, hydroelectric, whatever, okay, that is green energy. So remember what happens. When brown hydrogen is produced, we produce 19 tons of carbon dioxide per ton of hydrogen. Okay? If we say grey hydrogen, steam, methane, reforming natural gas, 11 tons. Go that side. Blue hydrogen means whatever carbon dioxide generated, if 90% of that you capture, make use of it for something or sequester, store, whatever you want to do, that is blue hydrogen. Turquoise means pyrolysis of natural gas. You produce carbon and hydrogen, that is turquoise. Then we have green hydrogen, electrolysis, for example, of water or thermochemical processing. That is, of course, renewable energy. And when I use nuclear energy, I produce hydrogen, it is called pink hydrogen. And also there is natural hydrogen, which is white hydrogen. That is, there are some deposits found, particularly one news was there on 30th of October 2023 by CNN. They said natural hydrogen deposits are found in Mali, and that was about 5 million tons. And they estimate that there will be almost 350 million tons of natural hydrogen. If we excavate that, it will be cheap. So the history of formation tells us why that hydrogen remain in the molecular form. Normally hydrogen will not remain in that form. Right? So you see that, and now sometimes there are additional names given to this. White hydrogen is naturally, but Texas guys, they think they are smart. They say it is called gold hydrogen. They think it is nitrogen. So Texas, the authorities say we will call it as gold hydrogen, but yes, it is the same. So these statistics, without going into the details of this, what we are trying to tell you, by 2050 or when we are witnessing Bharat 2047, almost 50-50 blue hydrogen and green hydrogen. So future is hydrogen economy. Future is hydrogen economy. So that is what I am trying to tell you. And so we can produce hydrogen. So this is the new trinity for me. It's very nice. Solar, wind and hydrogen. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. I call hydrogen as the savior, prime devas. Devas is a Sanskrit word meaning deity, God. Why? Because solar and wind will not give me materials, but hydrogen will give me, hydrogen is an energy carrier, will give me materials. Therefore I got Trinity. So solar energy, wind energy, green hydrogen, all these things now are easily understood by everybody here. If anybody doesn't understand, you can meet me afterwards. Okay, it is the simplest form. How to understand nature and what we should do. Okay, so look at the energy world scenario. You know, in 2050, 73% of the energy will be renewable energy. Still, we will be using coal. We will be using natural gas. Of course, crude oil may go down, either because the cost of crude oil goes beyond $200 a barrel, or other technologies, so-called bio-based technologies, take precedence and biorefining concepts come to the fore. So this is 49,000 terawatt hours, that energy. So my advice to our government is, we should have 10% of this. We are the most populous nation now, you know that? We are 1.46 billion, 146 crore. In 2047, we will be 167 crore. And we want $30 trillion economy. What is, we have just crossed 4 trillion. We have 29 states, in which 5 states at least must produce $15 trillion economy. So imagine, the planners have to think, how do we add to $30 trillion economy? So that is what it is. So 20%, I am saying, let us have an industrial policy where our industries generate green hydrogen and green energy and export it. And we get revenue. We get foreign exchange. Right now we are dependent on the enemy. Some president of some country says, I will put 500% tariff on it. What are you going to do? The world politics is definitely changing. So to be self-sufficient, so-called Atmanirbhar, we must have a strong and sensible energy policy, because everybody needs energy. Right? Yeah, and you know that. For example, you have a mobile phone. Everybody, sometimes people have 2 mobile phones. I don't know how they handle it, 2 mobile phones. Maybe one for himself, one for wife, one for girlfriend, whatever. How do you handle 2 mobile phones? Correct? It requires energy. And every 6 months a new mobile phone comes in the market. And kids want new mobile phone. Old mobile phone may go to grandmother, grandfather. Right? Even father doesn't want to use it. What do you do? So we are producing so much of waste. But have you ever told the kids in that mobile phone, there are 30 inorganic oxides, polycarbonates, gallium arsenide, silicon, metal frame, and the touch screen is indium oxide. Indium oxide. But nobody would believe that. Right? If there are dwindling, enrollment in chemistry courses, you should tell them, yes, if I don't have these metals and minerals, you will not have the so-called, computer, CSE, right? So that is the problem. And I hope in your NSC you have started using this minor and major. Have you done it? You're autonomous, you can do it, major and minor. You can have a designer's degree also. Students can do it. And since you're autonomous, you should do it. Be bold. You can, and also I'm telling you incidentally, have trimester system. Semester system is the most useless form of education. Why am I saying that? Kids are engaged only for 10 months. 2 months they are free. They develop all sorts of bad habits. In trimester system, every alternate term the student goes to industry as employed by somebody. They earn their own money. So, I told, this, I'm on record by saying this. I said, CSR, corporate social responsibility, should be 3%, not 2%. And 1% should be spent on higher education. Higher education. And in that, I call a scheme called SIR, sir. SIR, not that SIR. This is students' internship responsibility, 0.2%. At least 5,000 rupees a month should be given to the student for internship. That will be a great Bharat. By 2047, we will be Viksit, not otherwise. In fact, I have another theory. There are a lot of ladies here, so you will at least clap after I say that. You know what I'm going to say? Girls' education should be free till PhD. Please, some members of the audience could hear it loudly. Why did I say that? The reason is very simple. In our society, we are very, very partial. We don't encourage girls. We are unencouraging. We say, hey, this is a girl going to get married and the husband will benefit. It is husband's responsibility to educate further. But if we have this girl's education free, not a single girl, no matter which caste, creed, race, religion she belongs, she will be allowed to go to higher education. Correct? Advantage, number one, the marriageable age will increase. Population will automatically come down. And thirdly, no mother, no educated mother would like to have more kids and uneducated kids. All mothers want their kids to be the best in the world, and they will give them the education. That will happen only if they are educated, not otherwise. Okay. So this is the free education idea. I have been telling this for 15 years and all, maybe more than that. Sometime one central minister said, "Arey Yadav, Professor Yadav, it's a good idea." I said, "Implement it. Why are you saying it?" And there are so many schemes, right? Why not have this girls' education free till PhD? Believe me, it will help the nation. And it is 2047 means 2 generations. Correct? And it does not mean all girls will become PhD. Those who are qualified and have the merit, they will go to the next level. Others may drop out. Even it happens now. So this is what I've been saying. So I should not sound political, but yes. So what happens is that we did a lot of work on this hydrogen. Okay, we have got patents and all, 137 patents in different areas of technology. So we use methanol, ethanol, ethylene glycol, glycerol, everything. We can make hydrogen from that. But what is important, which we have been doing, is this so-called water splitting. So this work is supported by ONGC, Energy Center. So this is copper chlorine cycle. And you see, it's a highly complicated, it's an engineering problem now. It is not chemistry, it is engineering. So we got patents also on that. So, and this was our pilot plant, which we built in Goa, Ipsen, Goa. Now we shifted it to Panvel, And so you can see that this, and I've been saying that I can produce hydrogen in less than $1 if my production is 100 tons a day. Okay, that is the objective of the entire world. So that is called 1-1-1 target. Joe Biden, President of USA, he said, I will give you this target 1-1-1. What is the meaning of that? 1 kilo hydrogen in $1 in 1 decade. That is 2031. But India is a cricket-loving nation. Crazy nation. They will forget everything. 1-1-1 in Test cricket means Nelson's eye. That means if you are playing on 1-1-1, you can get out. So there is a hidden meaning in this 1-1. But actual cost of hydrogen is about $2 to $2.5 per kg. Okay, that is the cost of production, not the cost of delivery. So yes, this is a very good, objective. So this particular slide, this is what we did in our lab. We did many things. We use solar energy, we store energy, molten salt, copper cycle, 9 kilo of water gives you 1 kilo of hydrogen, 8 kilo of oxygen. So I can take biomass, I can take carbon dioxide, I can make methane, ethane, LPG, so-called sustainable aviation fuel, everything. So carbon dioxide becomes my source. That is what I call as net negative. So I can make hydrocarbons, methanol, dimethyl ether, formic acid, ethanol, higher alcohol. See how many things I can make. But believe me, these are technologically challenging problems. Okay, but yes, we did it. And so then now green ammonia. Government is promoting green ammonia, and it should have done it long time back. We are 30 years late. 30 years later. What is the meaning of same ammonia technology? Only hydrogen comes from renewable energy and nitrogen comes from air. So maybe cryogenic separation or pressure sink absorption, and then again you make ammonia by using green energy, that is green ammonia. So we can do all those things, okay? And ammonia can be used wherever hydrogen is used. Very beautiful. So yes, so this, I did this as an exercise, being a researcher, you have to convince people that how our technology, so coal, grey, last is mine, ICQOEC, okay, this technology. And interestingly, Honorable Nitin Gadkari has seen this, and so he mentioned in Rajya Sabha my name, that Dr. Yadav has done it. So I feel very honored that somebody, about 2 years ago, that he mentioned that we are developing this, green hydrogen technology. So we created some integrated technology cycle. So carbon dioxide to methane and higher hydrocarbons, we have developed this technology, and we can make hydrogenated or so-called, synthetic natural gas useful for buses. Yes, we have expression of interest from 3 companies. We did it from carbon dioxide to dimethyl ether. Dimethyl ether is a good substitute for LPG and diesel. So we have that technology, we have developed that, we have patented. And now Godavari Biorefinery, Samir with a friend of mine, I told him, Samir, why don't you join hands with us? So he has, so they are producing 450 tons of carbon dioxide from their fermenters. I said, we'll valorize it. So yes, so this, pilot plant, we opened in Nashik, Godavari Biorefinery. And so you can see that was on November 10th. Then we have, this is science, I won't go into that. Then carbon dioxide into methanol. So we are building a plant now 5 tons per day of methanol, because methanol is going to be the future feedstock of chemical and allied industry. So we have developed that technology. So methanol economy, that is what Niti Aayog is saying. So yes, we can make all sorts of chemicals, fuels and materials from methanol. And so I can go on showing all these things, but the point is not that. Methanol will be a very good feedstock for future. So we have biomethanol, e-methanol, all sorts of things, the combination, I can produce a methanol in this case. And the chemists, you can have fun also, so you can make all sorts of chemicals from using carbon dioxide, fine chemicals. And so I call this as carbon dioxide refinery. See, carbon dioxide becomes my feedstock. So that is negative. I am taking carbon dioxide, wherever it is generated, storing it, separating it, converting that into chemicals and materials. Okay? And so you can see that dimethyl ether, methanol. Yes, I can do many things. I can do syngas from carbon dioxide. So this is very interesting, which we did. So should ethanol be mixed with petrol and diesel? Right? Our policy, what is government policy? We say we'll mix 20%, 22%. Why are we doing that? Because we want to reduce the import bill. We import a lot of crude oil. So our farmers will get benefit. They will get an income. And also we will reduce our energy bill. That is the whole idea of the government. But my scientific thought is this. We should not be burning it. So we showed this by calculation. 1 kilo of crude oil gives me 32 megajoule of fuels per 0.2 kg of chemicals. However, if I take 1 kilo of biomass, it gives me only 6 megajoule of energy or 0.8 kg of, this is a typical refinery. So we did this calculation, 97.4 million barrels a day, that is 250 barrels per second of fuel. If I use only biomass, it is 10 barrels. And if you use 100% biomass into chemicals, it is 320 barrels. So it is better to make chemicals rather than burning it as a fuel. Common sense steps. At the same time, we will control the temperature of the atmosphere. So that is what we wrote this very interesting paper. So we can do many things with this biomass. Okay. Now, so why bioethanol should not be burned as a fuel? See, 11 major chemicals I can make and 19 specialty chemicals. So ethanol, today what is the cost of ethanol? 150 rupees a liter. And it is subsidized, it is not going to sustain our economy. We are fooling ourselves, but why we are doing it? Because we want to reduce the import bill. But by 2031, by 2030, we should shift gear and say ethanol will be used as a feedstock for chemicals and will not have any carbon in the, so carbon should not be burnt as a fuel. That is the principle. So and then also I told you plastic ban. Plastic ban is not a solution, so I will not comment on that. I will only show you the pictures. So for plastic pollution today, including microplastic and in future. So I am telling you how to stop. COVID we were saved because of plastic. Right? We were saved because of plastic. But nobody will give credit. Because we are only looking at the wrong side of the, So that is pollution abatement. So this is the newspaper buyer and the boy, lady I told you. So we can make variety of, materials from, this plastic. So why single-use plastic pollution is due to the free and cheap availability of plastic articles. Encourage recycle at source by sizable deposit policy. And that will promote also UPI. Right? India is the leading nation in the world to use UPI. Right? We have forgotten the notes now. I don't know when I saw 10 rupee notes. Correct? Yeah. So putting an end to plastic pollution, chemical recycling, ban is never a solution. Anywhere, no ban is not a solution. Ban is not a solution. So we can do plastic chemical recycling. There are many ways of doing it. Hydrocarbons, monomers, polymers. I can do that. And so this is chemical engineering, that plastic through chemical convergence. I can do many things. I won't go into the detail. I just want to tell you. Government policy matters. Anything free is bad. That is the mission. I don't have to. Like if you give free marks to the student, why will you study? Right? He will not study. So yes. So encourage recycle and reprocessing. 20 rupees I say, promotion of digital economy, plastic collector comes to your home, all those things are there. So plastic is again systems engineering approach. I can do all sorts of things which are reactions, catalysts and whatnot. I can do that, okay? So waste plastic, we do this in our lab, so whether chemolysis, pyrolysis, gasification, and I showed something else, okay? I won't go into the details about this, I will tell you a very interesting thing which we did, okay? This is theory, waste plastic management, okay? So this is polyurethane because you have this probe, okay? So we said we can do that, we have developed this technology, and okay, I'll tell you what is the interesting part, is hydrogen helps me in plastic pollution because segregation takes 80% of the cost. But if I have a collection of all articles, whether it is PVC or polypropylene or polyethylene or I can do hydrogenolysis. And why I am saying that? Because all these technologies are new. There are 8 technologies which are used in refineries. So these technologies are already known. What I am saying is that why not do plastic hydrogenolysis and chemolysis? I can do all sorts of things. I can get materials back, depolymerization, and particularly, this is what it is. And then, when we have no crude oil, we will go to biomass. Whether it is food, agricultural waste. So in petroleum refinery, we deal with BTX, benzene, toluene, xylene, butane. That is what you must have taught. Here, what we are doing defunctionalization. Therefore, these technologies are expensive. So yes, we can do that. Functionalization versus defunctionalization. So what I am saying, farmers' income can be multiplied by using this idea. So what idea I have? My idea is what? Tell the farmer, don't burn it, compact, densify it, make pellets. Now these pellets are costing about 6 rupees a kg. So government should do that, 10 rupees a kg, bring it to me. And I take it somewhere else and I convert that into chemicals, materials. So there is no waste. Farmer is benefited. You see, why they burn? Because they think carbon, this so-called biochar which is created, it will go into the soil, it will increase the fertility. Yeah, that is correct. Soil carbon is required in the soil, but not that way. Yes, when we do pyrolysis of this biomass, we do get biochar, we get gases, we get liquids, and those liquids containing hydroxyl groups or oxygenated compounds. So once again, I do hydrogenation, hydrogenolysis, and I get hydrocarbons. So I will have a clean environment. I will produce carbon which the farmer can use in his own farm. Plus he gets money, right? Because he's not throwing it anywhere. So this can be, so I'm saying, like we have farmers, agriculture, cooperative sugar factories, I'm saying cooperative kachara factory. Right? That is cooperative agri-waste factory. That is you collect it, densify it, because that is very bulky, very low bulk density. So compact it, make pellets, and these pellets are 6 rupees a kilo. So what I used to do in ICD, I used to collect, my wife was very enthusiastic. She would go and tell the Malis, the gardeners, I collect all these things, we'll compact it, make pellets, and we'll sell it. So the 6 rupees rate I know is because of that. so you can do that. So, so no burning, no pollution, going to Delhi by air will be pleasant. That is what I'm saying. But anyway, so I can have integrated biorefinery processes and make so many chemicals from cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin. I can make good chemicals from lignin. Okay? And what is the current method? Currently have cogen. Farmers are happy, sugar factory wallahs are happy. But that is the worst form of technology. Convert that. So that is what I am showing in this. That sort of thing I can do. So look, cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin. How many different things? There are 14 different catalytic processes. Both chemical, biological, biocatalysis. I can make all sorts of chemicals. Okay. So at the top, C5C6 sugars, oxidation, hydrogenation, hydrogenolysis, down also lignin, oxidation, hydrogenation, everywhere. So we showed that we can make sugar, C5C6 sugars, by using any biomass. And so you see the bottom, I can make benzene, toluene, hydrogen. Yes. So hydrogen and oxygen. So water splitting. And glycerol, we talk about biodiesel. The biodiesel doesn't compete with petrol diesel because it is very expensive. But 10% is glycerol. If I convert glycerol into some value-added product, then only it becomes easy. So 23 products are there from glycerol, okay, or glycerin. So same the case will be in future, like today's refineries, furfural-based refineries will be there. Okay, we showed in one of our papers in this one. So this I already showed you. So what it means, nothing is waste, convert liability into asset. That is what I told you. Nothing is waste. No student is a bad student, huh? Professors. You make them bad. Because if you say, "Are you Buddha," that fellow will become Buddha only. But you say, "No, you are missing." And I'll tell you a very interesting story. You have to ask them to attain, let them fail, but they should attain. So during World War II, there was a pilot, Douglas Bader. He was a very forceful guy, and he lost both his legs. They were amputated because he was injured. But his desire to succeed, he was that time, not now. His wooden legs were put on him, and he used to walk. And you know what was his desire? His desire was to fly again the plane. So he used to go to the ground and tell his, boss, allow me to fly. He used to pity him. He said, okay, do it. 43 times he failed. So he said, "Arey, Douglas, you have failed 43 times. He said, one more chance, give me one more chance. And the 44th time he became successful. Meaning thereby, nobody is we make something. Because we think this is not your cup of tea. But if there is a strong desire and commitment, the same weak student can become a bright student. And there are umpteen number of examples which are reported. People have written biographies and autobiographies, how they became successful because of their inner desire, their compassion for it, their passion for succeeding. That is what teachers are supposed to do. I told you about solar panel recycling, wind blades also. I told you how many things are there which can be recycled. These are all valuable materials. Okay? And battery recycling, I told you. When the battery life goes to 80%, I teach a secondary life. Storage. China is the best in this. They have $45 billion by 2030. 75% of EV batteries will be remanufactured. So this future is remanufacturing, recycling and all. Okay? And so steel production. See, China, India, USA, Japan. India is number 2 in steel production. Steel industry is highly polluting industry. So you see, 50% of crude steel production, China, then India, USA, Japan. Now we can definitely, do a much better job using green hydrogen. So this is what it is. So reducing CO2 emissions in steel production, we can have reduction, minimum emission of CO2, carbon monoxide, SO2. So we can see that these kind of things, 90% less carbon emissions when we use green hydrogen. So, yeah, I told you already this. So, hydrogen safety. Hydrogen is safer than conventional fuels. But people are afraid. They think hydrogen bomb, which is deuterium. So, public perception many times changes things. I tell you very interesting. Around 1910, there was a procession of American women from the state of New Jersey. They went to the governor's bungalow and they said, stop this nonsensical use of X-ray machines. These filthy doctors are seeing women naked. Now, then they have to be demonstrated that no, they are only seeing the skeleton. Nobody is seeing naked. Then they allowed X-ray machines to be used in hospitals. Now show me any hospital without X-ray machine. You cannot find even one. Then what happened? World War II. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, they dropped the bomb. So everybody knew that atom bomb, nuclear weapon is bad. But at the same time, they found that nuclear magnetic resonance imaging, NMRI, is the best thing for medical things. So what they did, they dropped the N and they said MRI. So every hospital has MRI. But actually it is MRI. Why? Because nuclear became a taboo word. So to change the perception of society, you have to give them the proper terminology. Right? So this is one example. Hydrogen is going to be the savior of the world. Okay. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I attended a program. This was a meeting. This same Nobel Foundation had organized it in Stockholm. I was the only Indian to attend this. This is called Chemistry for the Future. So we released this declaration. And you can see that I was the second person to sign this declaration. There is Nobel laureate Ben Tharinga from Netherlands. So we signed and we said that if we teach chemistry, we must tell them it is sustainability, it is going to help mankind. And this is adopted by all colleges and chemical societies and more. So ladies and gentlemen, bioeconomy plus green economy plus circular economy. I told you what is meant by bioeconomy, bio-based economy, green economy, circular economy, green hydrogen, net negative, and the 5 R's. Rethink, refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle. All those things are part of my lesson. And finally, I want to tell you that green hydrogen is the savior of the world. Nothing is a waste and has a value. That is what I wanted to tell you. Carbon dioxide will be the great resource, then sustainability and circular economy, and integrating the hydrogen economy. And government support for hydrogen is required, and which is happening now. Our government, I'm part of some of these committees, so it's good. Government is taking note of this. Finally, so this is a lot of students are working in my lab, so I dedicate my lecture to them. They have been working day in and day out, and I'm going outside and taking new lectures. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, please go ahead.
Now people are putting carbon.
Yeah,
we are getting bags in the market. In my field also before last year I put 20 bags. But they are so expensive, sir. Is it possible to reduce the cost of the carbon?
Of course, it is possible. Just listen, something which is introduced in the market now, people because there is a logistic cost. It is not the actual cost, distribution, this and that. 100%. That is what I said. Kachra society. You must have carbon prepared by the waste from agricultural waste. In fact, I chair this committee of Government of India Waste Management, and we encourage some people in Punjab. That I told them that we gave them money also. We said, why don't you develop this for your farmers? Because that is the only way to. See, farmers will not participate. If they, suppose you give and you are told that, well, your carbon will be free to you, you give this. Obviously, it will increase the productivity. The policy, once again, I am telling you that government policy makes or breaks the nation.
So, any questions from the audience?
Yeah, madam, please go ahead.
Hello sir, last you do comparison with China and India. I just want to ask you, China has same problem with air and pollution, and India has the same problem. But China has solution, the excellence in research, and their government employs it very well, and they solve their problem. But what India lacks in research, that we still fighting with these problems, and what we can do in research, so we solve it.
Yeah, I repeated it maybe 4 or 5 times. Government policy matters. You want to know how much China is spending on education? 800 billion US dollars. And we are spending only 12 billion dollars. 12 in 800. Where is the comparison? No, and not only that. You see, because it is a controlled regime, we have unlimited freedom without responsibility. We are not responsible. We want everything, but we are not responsible. That is our problem. Our education should create better future for us, better citizens for us. That is what is important. We politicize everything, even the good things, bad things. That is our problem. China, it is not there. I will tell you my own personal experience. Now you know that with this Donald Trump's tariff, I wrote some articles, some in Marathi, some in English. I said this is the best opportunity for India to get this talent back. Right? They are coming back to India. So I said all vice chancellors should be allowed to recruit these people and you regularize them later. Right now what is happening in the bureaucracy, God only knows when the advertisement will come. You know that 3 days ago, Supreme Court gave a decision. You know that? Have you read the decision? That no vice chancellor or director's position can remain vacant. No faculty position should remain vacant. Supreme Court has intervened. It is good for higher education. Otherwise, 50 to 60% positions are vacant. I don't know how many you are vacant. Your management may know. I tell you. And so, our honorable minister summoned all vice chancellors and said, why your number is not there in NRF ranking, in top 100? So somebody told me, I said you should have asked the honorable minister, you are not filling positions and you want to be number. How do you get the number? Because temporary person is not given research student. He is appointed for maybe 11 months and there is no guarantee. And our university stupid laws say temporary person cannot be given research student. So he is not eligible for applying for any grant. He is not eligible to take research students. Then we insist, oh, he should have 5 years experience, 10 years experience. You know what I did? When I became vice chancellor, first thing I did, anybody who is coming as Inspire Fellow or faculty recharge on day 1, I said, take the student. Now some of the senior professors, they said, sir, you are doing mistake. They came to me like with the Morcha and they came, sir, why are you giving student? I said, my dear sir, how many students I can guide? I have 30 in my lab. With the project stuff, it is 40. How many you can guide? How many somebody? These guys are young. They are enthusiastic. Let them guide. Somebody says, there are smart fellows also. Suppose they leave tomorrow, what happens? I said, what is the guarantee that you will not leave tomorrow? And worst thing was, supposing somebody dies, what do? We transfer the student to somebody else. I will do the same thing. Believe me, the faculty which are 16 faculty I recruited, everywhere else not even one. Whosoever they appointed, they made them demonstrators. They would not give them teachers, research students, and they troubled them because they were having the retirement age of 65. So faculty is only enemy of a faculty. You agree with me? Why don't you agree? I'm telling you that professors are only enemies of professors in higher education. They don't have guts to take bold decisions. I was never afraid of my position. I said, so long as I'm not involved in corruption, moral, immoral, professional, ethical, unethical, I don't have to worry for anybody. I implemented trimester system. I implemented in 2018. NEP came in 2020. So I am ahead of the time. But I was not afraid to take decisions. The students, when I gave to this, they were the most productive professors. They were temporary. Which university alumni tell me? No university, because they are afraid. They are afraid that if the fellow becomes better than me. Right? They don't want their colleagues to be better than them. You have experienced that? You are a professor? Student? You want to be a professor?
Yeah, you could, sir.
You pick up now, what is wrong? You can mold the future of this country.
But there is NET exam which is very...
Give that exam. Why are you afraid of NET set? Everything you want on platter. No. You have to work for it. You know what happens? You look at the history of family business. You know, third generation, the business dies because there are no professionals running the business. Companies which have been run by professionals, they are flourishing. You look at the history. Dow, DuPont still are there. Why? Because they are run by professionals. Not by the family members are there, but they are insignificant. They are not powered in taking decisions. So we have to be bold. I am a bold person. I'm still there. I was never afraid of taking decisions. Because I thought it will benefit my institute. It will benefit my colleagues. After I left, everybody remembers that. Believe me. Because they said, I gave them an opportunity. I said, you guide students. Here, they are not allowing and they want NRL ranking, correct? Without giving chance to them. Then Akhil was telling me he was asked to have 10 years experience. What nonsense. He was much better on day 1 when he joined my group. He was very independent, very good boy. But see, am I right now, Akhil? The encouragement has to be given to the student. How many things I can control? I cannot control everything. So, yeah, you are autonomous. Can you do that? What? You go and fight with them. You don't have anybody in the Senate. Tell my name. I am allowing in NIT. I am the chairman of the board. Believe me, like in Nagpur. I'm the chairman of the board. I made them independent. So why not? You can do that. Otherwise, we will not see. We will be only complaining. I don't like people who complain. I would ask them, what did you do? Nobody is going to remove you, believe me, if you try. I can assure you on behalf of him that your principalship will remain intact. But you will get better results. Your college, you showed me that you have a certificate there, right? There you got some NRL rank, and I asked you what happened next. You said no, we went down. This is the reason, not because people have changed, because you were not able to do it. So there are senior people, right? There are board of management people. You have to convince them. You have to convince them that yes, it is required. This 10 and then they are expecting NRL ranking. From where will you get NRL ranking? You will not get NRL ranking. See, the politician, you will have local politician. I am not interested who is that. That person should convince the minister. And also the education minister or the chief minister. Believe me, they will listen. Everybody, we are worried here about our own chair. We think we will lose my chair if I open up my mouth. If you are right, why should they fire you? Only when you are guilty feeling, you will not say anything. Committees, I chair many committees. There are some members who are only chai and biscuit committee. They don't add anything to the value. They must discuss because they are made members to discuss some issue of national importance. But nobody is going to remove that. Ultimately, it is a committee report, right? It's not an individual report. It is a committee report. So I think you have to be bold. And in the interest of education, your students and faculty, you have to state it. And you have your association is there, teachers vice principal or principals association must be there. Race through that. What is this? Tell the association to write, remove this thing. Otherwise, nowhere we will be in the NRF ranking. Tell that. It is not your question.
I have a request, Dr. Yadav. Why don't you tell Canada Party to make us cluster university? We don't have to do any of this.
No. Listen, I tell you something. Very good question. Making cluster university is a political decision. Correct? You have to go and plead your case. I will tell you, you want to know something, these autonomous colleges and what happened, it is because of me. They invited me to address these principles. Some 78 or 80 colleges. I said, if they have already got a grade in that NAC evaluation, why do you want to know again evaluation, result of chemistry, give them? That is how they started. That is how that autonomous thing started. I am responsible for that. Because they called me to give a keynote talk. I said, okay, I will give it. I don't lose anything. I'm not angling for anything. I said, yes. What do I lose? I don't lose anything by opening up. But it is the issue. Yes, people like you should go and meet the minister and do it. I can tell him privately, that's a different matter. But you should prepare the documents, tell them how it is going to help. You can definitely do that. That's a good solution, cluster university. But UGC mandate is there already, that cluster university is there. They gave money also. How many colleges you have, they can become cluster. All your colleges can become member of that cluster university, right? In Varda itself. No, they are allowing it. Make a fresh application. I'm sure you will get it. No, you have to use your right connection. Yeah, listen, I think you will go and persuade them. They will not say no. In the interest of, actually you should meet the CM. You should meet the CM. It is better. He will listen to you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful innovative lectures. So now I hand over the session to the Sharma.
Thank you very much, sir, for your motivational address and for sharing your research with us. Your session was full of enthusiasm and valuable knowledge, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, to mark our respect and gratitude, we now request Shri Sanjay Bhargav to kindly come forward and felicitate our esteemed chief guest, Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav. His knowledge, journey and achievements continue to motivate the academic community and serve as a guiding light for aspiring scientists and educators. Please give a huge round of applause for Professor G.D. Yadav and Sanjay Bhargav.
Thank you, sir. I would like to request all the dignitaries to please occupy their seats on the dais. Patil sir, Jadhav sir, Mandar sir, Principal sir, Chandrakar ma'am and Naik sir. Well, a thankful heart is a hallmark of a noble mind. With this, I would like to invite Dr. Mamta Chandrakar ma'am, Organizing Secretary of the seminar, to propose the vote of thanks.
Respected dais, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As we conclude this formal inauguration of Innervate-2026, I stand before you as the organizing secretary to express my heartfelt gratitude to all those who have contributed making this ceremony a grand success. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to our chief guest, Honorable Padma Shri Professor G.D. Yadav, Emeritus Professor of Eminence, Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. I thank you, sir, for your precious presence and your inspiring keynote address, which has provided us a perfect roadmap for the deliberations ahead. A special note of thanks to our guest speakers for the forthcoming plenary session, Professor Satish Patel, School of Life Science, Kavitri Bainabai Chaudhary, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, Professor A.G. Zadav, Alexander von Humboldt Fellow and former head, Department of Zoology, Rashtrasanta Tuकडोजी Maharaj Nagpur University, Nagpur, and Dr. Mandar Datar, Scientist T, Agarkar Research Institute, Pune. Your esteemed presence adds value and prestige to this national seminar. Thank you, everyone. My profound gratitude to the President of today's program, Chairman of Shiksha Mandal, Shri Sanjay Bhargav, for his visionary leadership in nurturing Bajaj College of Science as a hub of scientific excellence, which has made it possible for us to host this event. Thank you, sir, for your constant support and encouragement. I must also express my sincere thanks to our principal, Professor P.V. Tekari, for his continuous mentorship and for providing the necessary resources and academic freedom to bring Innervate-2026 to life. Sincere thanks to co-convener Dr. D.D. Naik for his continuous and dedicated efforts in Innervate-2026. Finally, I thank all the faculty members, delegates, researchers, and participants who have joined us from across the country, both in person and online. Your enthusiastic participation is the true strength of this seminar. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam, for your kind words of appreciation and gratitude. Well, with this, we announce that the inaugural session has concluded, and shortly we will be starting with the plenary session. There is a small announcement for the participants regarding poster presentation. The posters are to be displayed in Jamnalal Bajaj Hall in Life Sciences premises. So participants should make sure that their posters are ready for display. Thank you everyone We will now take a short tea break of 10 minutes, and I request everyone to gather in front of Gandhi Hall for the plenary session.